thing is like you got to turn it on to know what it's gonna look like. Make sure I don't have a baseline, okay?
Okay.
Even though it's not called base anymore. What's it called, Sean? Foundation.
It's not called base.
It used to be called base.
It's base. How low can you go?
I was about to say, Sawyer, before you start your crap, you've already been out. You did both. Hey, I saw Khaki. Hey, Khaki. Sean's always just a little bit late jumping on the.
I'm taking off. I'm taking off the internet though.
You might need to. Hey, Hope. Sean, it's been. I was gonna pin that, but I can't. It's been like this for like all day, and then it was like this yesterday.
What? You mean like?
The hey Sherry, when the rain finally cleared, there's internet quit working.
As long as it's crappy out, the internet works fine.
Hey Lindsay.
I have this shirt matches my tattoo. Look.
Hey Brenda. It does match your tattoo, and it's in this kind of the same place. There, I was making sure I saw everybody. So, I like hung this thing in the chicken coop today. This is your boring news bulletin. Hey Candy, I haven't seen you in a while.
Hey Candy, Lindsay.
I hung the galvanized feeder in there. But you know what's funny is Sean's noticed this, and I noticed the one we got the silkies from. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the chickens like to an extent to be on something when it sways.
Yeah, the silky actually kind of gets the food thing moving a little bit, and then tries to time the peck so that it can get what it needs.
I'm gonna build a swing for him. I just haven't yet, but that is my intention: is to build a swing.
Hey, Stitching.
Hey, Stitching.
Stitching, if you need Stitching girl for all your up-to-date locale needs. Stitching's got them for you.
She's amazing.
Is that your Rumble account?
I have a Rumble now, and apparently someone is going live. DC is going live.
Oh.
And anyways, Rumble's a little bit hard for me to navigate, just a little bit, but I'm getting used to it.
In Your Dream says, "Come on, Sean, show this Casey Gal Chief some support." It's purely a monetary thing. I have several cards invested in Jalen Hurts, graded cards. So he's for the Eagles. I don't have quite as many Mahomes cards.
Hey, Marilyn.
I really am just interested in a good game. I really wanted the Bengals to go because I like Joe Burrow. That didn't happen. I think that you do clearly have the two best teams in the NFL playing each other, and the Eagles and the Chiefs. So there is that. I think they got it right. I think it's the two best teams.
Hey, Karen. So who do you think is going to win?
I don't know.
Sawyer, don't go in there.
I do not know. It's going to be a good game. I think if you go by experience and all that the Chiefs probably should be favored. But Jalen Hurts having a good year for the Eagles. So we'll see.
Indeed.
I'm super stoked that Kyrie Irving got traded to the Mavericks in the NBA.
Oh, it was a whole thing. He got the notification and the whole world had to come to a stop.
We were like pondering whether we were going to go live, and I was like, no, I got to do some research.
We were in the car though. It was at the stoplight by Kroger's. Yeah, you got the...
But I saw it on my phone, though.
Yeah, exactly. So, for those of you who have not heard, the temporary restraining order case it wasn't continued till today.
I'm going to eat Rice Krispie
the emergency that the judge had, whatever that was, apparently it was a medical emergency. They had to do a mistrial and continue it to today. And I think it was like a month and a half ago, something like that. Well, it was dismissed, and it was dismissed because, of course, the beast didn't bother to show up to court. After she'd filed it and gone through all of this, she didn't even do the justice of showing up and saying, I'd like it dismissed.
Right. She didn't have that. So Paula was forced to pay an attorney and this and that. Here's the deal. And there were a couple of channels out there, one in particular that was really riding Paula hard about this whole thing because of the perceived misrepresentation of things and this and that. instead of following history being that the plaintiff in this case goes out and accuses people and gets paperwork drawn up on people and then drags them into court and then gives up after all this money has been spent on attorneys, the DA, the judge, all the people that work in the courts, they have to pay them to waste their friggin' time on the beast.
And she didn't even show up.
And she doesn't even show up. And see, we kind of knew this was going to happen. There could have been irrefutable evidence of Paula doing whatever. We knew at the end of the day that the beast would waste everybody's time and then not even show up. Mm-hmm. So I'm waiting with bated breath for Owl's vlog or her review of the dismissed case. So hold your breath, guys, and see if she mans up, so to speak, and says she was wrong.
And it was promptly dismissed.
Like
when they do roll call and it was dismissed.
This is where we kind of, a few of us step in and say, we told you so. And I know most of y'all don't. I mean, we're not saying it to anybody in the chat, but history, y'all. Mm-hmm. This is what this person does.
You can't even find articles really where in a restraining order, civil filing, where the plaintiff doesn't show up. There's lots of articles about what happens when the defendant doesn't show up. But very rarely does the plaintiff not show up.
The only time the plaintiff would ever show up if they were in real horrifying fear of their lives and they get harassed or threatened into not showing up, like mafia stuff or whatever. They won't testify or they drop a suit. This goon is saying that she's just no longer scared. So,
which kind of is what she did with us.
Yeah.
She said, if you'll give me the Volvo, I'll drop it and I won't be scared anymore.
Mm-hmm.
How many times is she going to do this before they investigate it and if nothing else, scare the hell out of her that they're going to charge her with perjury?
Yeah.
Because there's no way that all of these cases that get dismissed in Onslow County are nothing more than manipulation to the legal system. I mean, first of all, we know that she's beat somebody up in open court, and she beat up the plaintiff, right?
I was there for that.
But which was Boggs?
Boggs was the defendant.
Really?
I
thought he filed.
No, we filed and won the case.
Yeah.
That was the thing. It said, you have proven your case beyond a doubt that, you've won your small claims. And it's like, oh.
The legal system. And the prosecutor could get 8 times if you take into consideration both of her baby. Let me try rebooting it.
Okay.
It's weird because the red light isn't even on.
Looks like I'm back. We're back. She's rebooting it real quick.
I did. It might take a second to...
So while we're rebooting the internet, we were noticing that LeBron, it probably will maybe break, listening closely, love y'all, walking. Hey, Moxie. Hey, we're back.
We're back?
Well, so of the 90-some people, 4 stayed. Thank you guys for staying.
They're like, we heard up to baby daddies. They heard up to the baby daddies.
We heard up to baby daddy.
So, okay.
Give it a second. So these people, so everyone can
I'm like trying to figure out, I'm back. I just want to hold on to this stream. I don't want to have to restart the stream because that gets really confusing for people.
It's coming. They're coming back.
It's weird though that it said live the whole time.
I looked down at this and was like, looks like it is right now. See how it's kind of half a. And then it stopped. Yeah, back.
Been hacked. She knows all of his passwords. He can't change them.
It's buffering again. Oh, hold on. Keep it right. Keep it going.
Last time we moved, was gonna take it off internet again.
I think.
Bullshit. Hey, Jude.
Hey, Jude.
Jude, you may or may not have come in at the perfect time.
Yes.
The only other thing I know is last time we went to the counter in the kitchen, but why would that have been that big
Give
of
it
a
a minute.
difference?
We'll give it a second. It's trying. It's trying. Looks good now, Candy says. Hey, lovely Lisa Warrior.
Hey, Mama
AC says
Ricky.
it's better. Hey, Mama Ricky, guess what? You guys came at the right time because it buffered. And
You want to see my my Valentine's nails? I never let them do patterns. Like they want to do designs, I never let them, but I let them do some hearts on it this time.
I was gonna ask you about that because
Hey, Misty.
so Mandy goes and gets her nails done and she shows me and the others and
One of these things.
it's because that guy is always trying to get her to let him do his little design. She always says no, but I guess she gave.
Dreams. Not
Hey.
today, but a few days ago. They always like beg me to do it, and I'm like, but the thing is once the holiday's over, you're stuck with the design. But this time I had enough till February the 14th that made it worth it. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, there's Mama Ricky. It's held for
Yup.
Okay.
We can start the stream again since Mama
Hello.
Ricky is
Okay. So we had ended off with that the track record. So both baby daddies, baby daddy number 2's wife.
So there's a few new
Sean's
people that
ex-wife.
came in. There's a few people that came in. So
Sean, it's about 15 times
yes,
that they filed that she filed on you.
I know. The court case for those of y'all just coming in was dropped.
Hey, Jocelyn.
The beast didn't show up.
Didn't even.
And we were on a very good rant about how this is what she does. And even though that there was other people in the community and around that were vlogging and talking about this and talking about that and Paula this and Paula that, we knew that no matter what happened, just history would say that no matter what happened, sooner or later or before this date in February, the plaintiff, in this case, the beast, would bail.
Yeah.
Would bail.
Oh,
And today was the day where she bailed,
and not only did she bail, during roll call, she was live.
During roll call?
At the time this morning, she was live.
Oh, saying
at 9:00 in the morning is when they do roll call when court starts.
So she wasn't even there. She was just live somewhere. Was she
live.
Was she at home or
on her
somewhere?
couch? Yeah, with the dogs.
Oh,
Onslow County, what the hell is wrong with y'all?
And see, so not only is she saying F off and wasting everybody's money and time, she's sticking it to them.
Yeah.
I hope that somebody can get a timestamp and say this is her.
While she was supposed to be praying for help.
Who does the roll call? The DA, or it's kind of like a
It's the clerk, I think.
The clerk of courts was
Karen will probably be able to say.
Yeah, the clerk of court was calling the roll, and you know that there was always, they're in the back 3-1 odds that this one doesn't, because anyone who's never been in a situation like they do a roll call to make sure that everybody's there, that everything on the docket, that the plaintiff and defendant, if they're not, maybe their counsel's there, and they'll say why they're not there, and then if neither case is there, or if one person is not there and they can't go on, sometimes they continue it. Sometimes we go, we'll continue it. This time they just were like, with this particular case, they're like, we're done with it.
Yeah, she did she privated the video from this morning, but it's always exists. We did each case individually. Okay, and the other thing that they do is when she's involved, they move it to the afternoon. Mm-hmm. So it was, I've seen what happened from when she wasn't there, it was immediately dismissed. So, but if this is the problem, there's such a track record with it. She's done it so many times in just Onslow County alone. They need to investigate perjury because there's not this many people that are after her. There's no way. There's no way. Right, wrong, or indifferent. All of these people are not after her. And so, I mean, I would be willing to bet that there would be a case made for, for that if they would just at least investigate it. The other thing is, this whole stalking and harassing, and I saw the most flat out legal explanation today to differentiate stalking, harassing, and freedom of speech and talking shit. If they're talking about you and not to you, that's freedom of the speech.
Yeah.
So nobody's harassing or stalking you when they're talking about you.
And because of that, why is it not against the law? Because you can just choose not to watch it.
Right.
You have a choice to click on to, if somebody's talking shit about us, we have a choice whether or not to watch it.
Yeah. And so, and doll, no, but you're not the object of anyone's affection. I'm sorry. No one's stalking or harassing you. You don't have all of that like you think you do.
Moxie's back from walking the dog. We have the clerk of court.
I didn't even know that, Moxie.
The clerk of court in the county that I work in, he comes in about twice a week for certain things. He comes over to check on because of the mail flow that comes in. And one of the things that one of my coworkers that's been working at the post office for a long time always asks him is, how was the day? Because you have days in court where it goes quick. If everybody shows up, or you don't have a tough case, or you don't have a continuance, or you don't have the things, one of the problem people in court, they can wrap it up by noon. They can be done by noon. They always knew when she was in court that it was a full day.
It's going to be a shit show.
It's going to be a full day. Everybody's, bring their lunch, pack their lunch, look on the docket to see if she's on it. So in a way, when they called the roll and didn't show up and they said dismissed, everybody went. On one hand, they're like, man, that girl is, wasted our time. On the other hand, they're going, woohoo, we're going to be at, eating chili mac at home by about 2 in the afternoon. So there's two sides to it, really.
I don't know which judge was due to hear it. I don't know if it was Judge Welch or if it was a different one that was due to hear it. But the other one, remember, had an emergency last time. I think that
he pieced out.
I think that he seriously was like, Judge Welch, come get your girls.
Come get your girl.
I'm not doing it.
You didn't tell me all this was going on.
Because it was a retired judge that came back onto the bench to hear this case. Yeah. So and the thing is I don't understand, because it costs the time that it takes to process all this. There's a lot of officials that have to use their time to process all this bullshit. It is a waste of money. Those of you who live in North Carolina should be really pissed off that your money is going for her to do these crazy ass restraining orders that are not valid at all. That's all of us should be, but mainly North Carolina.
When did in this particular case, when was the first time?
Moxie.
Like October, right? Wasn't it something like that? Something like October?
Well, the very first time she tried to file on her was a year and a half ago.
Well, what was this case? This case number was this was like the
something
third
or
fourth time appearance. So
yes,
if you think about it, 4 days worth of different things and different deliberations or whatever. But I said it, for those that are here that weren't here at the beginning before we froze, if you know the person and you know this situation, there was not a lot, but there was a few people that kind of were reviewing this and going after Paula and this and that for it. And, Paula was just stuck to her guns with it and this and that. But at the end of it, it was going to be dismissed. We knew at the end of it, we sat back and say, well, we know, we read our history books, and we know that she's going to bail. She's going to bail sooner or later. Here's the downside of that. If you're somebody that cares about her or at all, maybe she has a family member here or there that cares about her, is that she is going to be, because of what she is and what she does and how she acts, she's going to get herself in a real corner. She's going to have somebody that really does do something to her one of these times. And everybody, I don't care who you are, deserves protection if that happens.
Yeah. And they're not going to
they're not going to give it to her now. I mean, she's a hard pass now even for law enforcement, even for attorneys, for the justice system. That's the other side of it. That's kind of bad. I mean, if you believe in the justice system.
I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
Mm-mm.
I would want, when I called, for them to be absolutely confident that this was not,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a frivolous bullshit call, that this was legit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't pin any, for whatever reason, it's
I just
still,
pinned.
well, it's lagging and it's not letting me do anything, but as long as it's not buffering over there, and I see your comments. Ricky said something, I was gonna pin it so we would remember.
Well, probably went into
It's, and when people say, you know, oh my God, just stop, you know, we have been in that situation. I have been in that situation. Shauna's been filed multiple times frivolously by her and falsely, but she also did it to me while we were living in Texas. This is what they should warrant investigation. When they look into it, they'll say, okay, so she filed against her ex-husband, or her then estranged husband, that she was and said she was fearful, even though we were in Texas.
and almost got away
And
with
filed-
the continuance.
filed
Almost
with
got
it-
away with the continuance.
Filed with it on me because I was his significant other. I was not a threat in Texas. I had never even been there. So when she filed the bullshit, I wasn't even in the same state. I was in a different state. She was not in fear. They have got to see it, that it's just a manipulation on her part to get back at people she does not like.
Or yeah,
I
and,
mean,
and she wakes up and is tired of it. The reason why she was able to summon me from Texas, because like Mandi said, I had a relationship, you know, a romantic relationship with her, and that's where they can pin the EPO.
But I
it's
guarantee
much
you-
easier to get those to be considered if you are, and to stick if you are romantically linked.
And guess what she didn't put on that thing when she tried to file it on us? The one that went before the magistrate conveniently didn't say that her husband was living in Texas.
Right.
And that his, whatever you want to call it, side piece, I guess, at the time, lives in Texas. She didn't tell them that. That part she didn't tell them. And she paid to have it served to us.
Right. And if we didn't have good representation, she was going to get away with the continuance.
She would have.
She would have
She was confident that she would.
So,
The other thing, and okay, it looks like it's catching up now.
yeah.
The other thing that I was contemplating today, and it made a lot of sense to me. So she's got this group of followers. There's this certain 3 or 4 that we will go to any side that has drama. Meaning if
Christy's mad
we're not
tonight.
fighting with somebody, and we're even keel, then they'll go support the person who is talking. And you understand what I'm saying? Like
I do.
boho. If we're not offering enough drama in the situation, she'll go flip and try to start it with and get, you know, the beast to figure into it. And God bless her, she tries to say she doesn't want to do drama, but she's got this group of people that don't stop. They
That's
don't
true.
stop instigating. And I would rather have like no followers and supporters than ones that are only there to see a shit show. Only there to that I would, you know, it's crazy. And she will do it again.
Yeah, I mean, and that's
The next
the
person will
thing.
do it again.
She'll mull it over. I mean, who knows? I mean, I haven't seen like an actual stream, but her pattern will be is she'll be mum for a little while, and then, you know, it's just a big pattern. There's little patterns that spin around amongst bigger patterns. And one of them for her is it happens about once or twice a year where she'll literally run down to the magistrate and try to drop charges on somebody for whatever reason. The ones that she's going to be able to do are the ones if there's somebody else that lives in the state. They're almost always going to, and that's not just the state of North Carolina. You see it now like in other states like Ohio or Indiana or whatever, that people that are yapping away, that they're going to take other people to court and do this and do that. There's only a tad of legitimacy to what they're saying if they've got somebody else in the same state. They have to listen to that. Most states take that a little bit more seriously. It was a true anomaly that she was able to, if you're in another state from somebody who says they're going to get you arrested, going to get you this, going to get that, that's not going to happen. The only way it does happen if it's a estranged partner.
Yeah, you
or a
have to
family member or
show
something like
evidence
that.
of some sort of
Yeah.
relationship.
Um,
Which is, I guess, so that's the question that I have. I guess Paula would be the best one to answer that. Did she try to she tried to say that Paula was interested in her romantically?
I don't know, but I mean, we've seen in other corners of YouTube that people have gotten EPOs, but they had to lie to the judge to say, well, that was my girlfriend, or that, that's my ex-girlfriend or whatever, to get the EPO to stick. We've seen that. And that's
Right.
the only time we've seen it stick.
It's never occurred to me to go take legal action on someone talking shit about me.
Yeah.
It's
It's
never
just,
occurred
I
to me
mean,
to. Do you know what I mean?
because like you said a few minutes ago, you have a choice. If somebody is steady in your DMs or steady in your emails or saying, hey you, I'm talking to you and this and that. That's one thing. And you tell them, hey, you need to
Oh
leave me
wow.
alone. You need to stop doing that. And they keep doing it. And you can get that proof. That's when you can go and say, but even if you're in another state, you're still not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
It's still going to be hard to do. Somebody that decides to fire up a live stream and talk all about you and talk all about your family, and you have a choice. And that's what the judge is going to say to you. They're going to say, so do you have these people blocked? We do have them blocked. So
That's the first thing they ask.
that's the very first thing they're going
Why
to
are they
ask you
not
is like,
blocked?
do you have have you blocked these guys from social media, from Facebook, from Twitter, from
Hey,
YouTube
Lisa.
and all that? Very first thing.
They said the first thing you
That's
do
kind of the
is
ground
block,
rules.
delete, and move on.
Yep.
We heard them say it in
Yep.
court.
Yep. Because there's probably almost half of the cases because she was in there with me for the time we had to go, and I've been in there a couple of times. Half the cases right off the bat, they're saying, why don't we try this? Why don't we block on all social media? I'll look at you both right now and say, don't communicate, and then let's come back in 30 days and see if there's anything else that happens.
Yeah.
And
But we didn't really see anybody who was misusing it. Like,
no, I have seen it before.
well, would we? Yeah, but I'm saying that was, and they they know her. They know
Paula's
her.
probably taking a nap or out partying right now, man.
I know.
We're
Yeah.
not saying you got to like Paula, and her antics, but she's perfect for drama. And there's a couple platforms out there that owe her a stream that said, we were wrong about what
And
we were
even
saying.
if she were to do streams about the beast 24/7, stayed up all night long and did streams about her, that's allowed.
It's allowed to do.
It's not considered harassing or stalking. Neither one is it.
Especially if you can go into the harasser or the harassee, the plaintiff, and see stream after stream of them firing back at not just the defendant, but at multiple other people. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, that was the main takeaway. And then the next, I think the request for expungement's already been put in. Because even if it doesn't go through, that stuff can be on your background, and it's dismissed. It's on your background as dismissed, but it can be on there unless you expunge it. I never did. I don't know if it's on there or not. I have no idea, but I didn't put in for it.
but see, no, we were never arrested for it. We were never arraigned for anything. We went in there on a summons and it was dismissed. So there's no real reason that it should be on the record at all. Now, if you were arrested, arraigned, had to post like bail.
Didn't Mr. McNamara say it will show up, but it shows up as...
What did he tell us? He said
it doesn't show up as a charge or anything like that. It just shows up that it went before the court and that there was no... Yeah. So I don't... I just can't imagine any bigger way to flip the bird to the court than be sitting on your couch when court's going on, that you're supposed to be there.
But you don't have to go through an expunge, is what I mean.
I guess to get it deleted, you would.
It's especially if you got convicted or something or pled nolo, then you definitely would have to get. Like I went through an expungement when she took me to court. And then they finally said no more. This wasn't right. We shouldn't have done this. They expunged everything. People have tried to find stuff on me and they can't. There's other people in the community that they find things and said they got it expunged, but when you further investigate it, you find out that they might be in the process of an expungement or they requested an expungement. But
Yeah.
you're right. Once there is an expungement, once it's expunged, there's no record at all that ever happened.
There you go.
But you're right. This is a good point. We should look.
Well, it's not going to show up on a
Right.
no, it's not
not
going to
be
show
like
up
on
that,
a
no.
freedom of
Like
information
if they
or
were,
anything
it
like
would
that.
probably show up if like you were trying to get a clearance. It would show
Yeah,
up.
that's true. It's a good
It would
point.
probably show up something like that, but not on just a regular background check or whatever. So there you go. It's
It
just.
might not even show up on a clearance because I've had a
I was
couple of
wondering that
background
too.
checks.
AC says Sean was in some of her lives. I don't know what that means. Like he was.
Who's lives and alive? I haven't been in anyone's live chats.
No. You used to be in the Beast live
Mm-hmm.
chats.
That's how I know about it.
Let him figure out though. Let's figure out what he's asking for.
Okay.
So
There's 114 people in here. They mostly know I was in there.
yeah. Someone asked earlier about what it's like, Dr. Phil. We won't that. I don't think we need.
I'll just say this about Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil is riding off into the sunset, and they have a little montage of all his episodes. So Wendy and I will forever be in that part of it.
Yeah, it made the montage.
It made the montage. So
Yeah.
Wendy's comment towards me is in the montage. So
Someone asked why you were not, and they were replying, "Oh, that makes sense." Okay, that's what I figured. Sean was there when she flopped out boobs. He sure was. We have a picture of it somewhere where he's like,
it was more like this. It was like the Beavis and Butthead or something.
yeah.
Like that.
So Christy, I heard about the other day. The beast was washing her mouth out with hydrogen peroxide because she's got sores in her mouth. She said, "Which, hey, girl, you do you."
Who's got the emoji right now? After someone admits something like that, the emoji like this. Just like this.
I didn't even know you could wash your mouth out with hydrogen peroxide.
I don't think you're supposed to.
So you, yeah, I have no idea. It's insane. Like, I thought it would be poisonous, but I guess maybe there is some hydrogen or there's some peroxide in mouthwash anyway. I don't know. Look, they're all doing it.
I know. Everyone do this.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. If they're talking about you and not to you, just turn them off. If you don't like what they're saying, just don't listen.
That's part of the lesson from this
Yep.
today is that it's if you don't watch, you can be blissfully ignorant of what people are saying about you.
Yeah.
I mean, in my case and in our case, we know who slid into our DMs. We know what people are saying, to us, what they're noticing about what's going on. But we can, okay.
I got.
That's the only reason we know anything.
Yeah, usually it's you know that someone has been talking and you don't know who it is when people will come in and reassure you that they think that you're all right. You know what I mean? That you're cool. Then you're like, okay, someone's
talking about us.
I was hanging chicken feeders today. I was not able to watch anything.
If you're going to talk about me and get my attention, Monday's not a good day for it because I literally, from the time I walk out that door at 8:00 in the morning until I walk in to see my wife at about 7:30.
Okay. AJ says you can whiten your teeth with peroxide. That's good to know. Oh, because you can bleach your hair with it. Peroxide blonde.
Yeah. Teeth are in the mouth. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. And someone had wanted to know that if Sean had seen Bear in the streams, and I did show him that Bear, I showed him that Bear was there.
If you're asking me if I saw Bear in the streams, I don't watch the streams.
No, but I mean, you saw him.
But Mandy has showed me still.
And he said he looks healthy.
He looks okay. I mean, he's 12? I think
Something
now?
like
Something
that.
like 12 years old.
They said he's having trouble walking, and he's on a medicine. So
yeah, I don't even.
No, but I mean, several people have said, did Sean see him? He's
probably overweight and probably is having a hard time walking. He was always a kind of a pudgy dog. He's obviously a pit bull and black lab mix, and he's always had kind of the black lab legs and the pit bull bodies. So yeah, he was bound to start having some arthritis and atrophy in his legs when he got older.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think those were the two things, because we don't talk about her that often on here. So I was like, let me get it out while we're here.
Well, I mean,
But
today,
you said he would chew on cans too.
yeah, I mean, Bear used to
Eat socks.
if you let him get into the garbage, you would come home and there would be a green bean can that he would have crunched into, and it would, it'd cut his mouth up. He was a strong dog.
But he would also knock the trash over for Lily, right? They
No.
worked together.
Well, Lily would get into the trash. Lily didn't care.
That's what I mean. You would come home and Bear would be like...
Bear would be over there trying to be good. She'd be like, come. I got the
He's like, I need you to do the weight. I need you to be the heavy, like our cats do.
And then, because he's a big dog, so once he couldn't resist anymore, he would tear through it and then he'd get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, they're also building a... Lumpkin County is relocating their animal rescue building to county property near here. So there's going to be, so I was like, Sean, that's a good thing. We could volunteer with that. And I'm like, we'll end up with every single thing that they have. Her peeps were telling her it was a good house she was doing, and she just kept chugging it. Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah. And that's the thing too. It's like, here's the deal. I don't understand why she's still talking about him so much. I don't understand it. I guess I don't know that kind of pathology, but it can't, like, other than when we're covering it, eventually it just becomes, and I don't understand the obsession with it, with continuing to say, I was in it. Yeah, we get it. You didn't like your marriage. It's gone.
Especially if you learn and you take feedback from people on the internet. They have constantly told her, especially people that have truly been in abusive relationships, they consistently would say, but that's not your behavior isn't consistent.
Yes.
Kid isn't consistent with somebody who was in an abusive relationship and that you were scared. But I think it's just kind of like autopilot.
It's gotta be.
That pathology is autopilot. Yeah, you see it with a few people around here. She's definitely textbook when it comes to that.
I wonder if she's gone through everybody on Tinder and Bumble in the area. Like surely someone will bite.
Yep.
Surely someone will be like, yeah, I'll be in a relationship.
What's going to happen is someone's that knows her that's got tendencies to do something, and they take into consideration the fact that she isn't going to be listened to, or they're not going to take her seriously in court. That's the person that'll bite.
Yeah.
And say, I can go get away with things because no one's going to believe her. I
guess so. Yeah. It's just, it's baffling to me. Like, Sean says he understands now, not now because it's so long gone, but he understands now why baby daddy number 2 breathed a sigh of relief when you took her on.
Oh yeah. I mean, I worked with the guy, and at first he was like, he genuinely was like, dude,
rock on.
Whoa. At first he was like, do you? And I'm like, get the guy. He was like,
right on.
Okay.
Right on.
Okay. Let me know if you need a ride home.
So it's like now everybody kind of gets like in it. Like he said, now it's just an internet beef. It's nothing more than that. But man,
and we are allowed, when people say they still talk, this is part of the community. I mean, you guys, when you guys looked at my streams, you guys were all riding with me when I left out of there. And then, half of y'all still riding with me because the other half didn't like her. So, but,
I still think they don't.
But the thing is that, we've said this before, if she's taken you to court, there's a small handful of you out there that get it. Paul is one, Mandi's one. So they're the 2 main ones. And the people that support them, if you have been falsely accused, drug into court, and had to go through this, we have every right to talk shit. We do. Yeah. We do.
We just don't go as low as we could.
People say, like, I think it's weird that somebody's here, and, a few people say, it's weird that someone would come on and talk about their ex here. Well, if your ex is in here, then yeah,
I don't talk about mine because he's not here.
Yeah, because he's not here. Look at Chantal over there, always talking about Natter, always talking about him. And other people on their channels, they talk about their exes,
Thank
especially
you.
if their exes are also relevant in their community. It's not that big. It's not that much of a weird thing.
Yeah, thank you. Candy says both have grown so well together. We've come a long way. Not, I mean, we knew that we were in love and we knew we wanted forever and we knew that was going to be a reality. But like I've told y'all, we had to learn how to be grown-ups in our relationship and how to talk instead of like, well, we never were big yell. Well, I was kind of a yeller when we first got together. Not like screaming mean, but what like, and Sean doesn't engage. He's like, no, I'm not.
Mandy had to learn too that not to used to piss you off the first couple times. She would like try to pick
That's
at me,
how
and
I
I just
learned
be
how to
like,
argue. I learned how to just get the biggest reaction you can get, and then you realize
she'd be dragging me, and I wouldn't even answer. Right?
being relative, yeah. But you know, it's true. Like I believe we have come a long way, and especially just different things that Sean deals with on a day-to-day basis. He used to be very stressed about every penny,
Yeah.
and now he's realized that we're okay.
And part of it is where I had to save money for certain things. I had to
Yes.
react. I had to react financially. And also because I wasn't really allowed, is the best word. It wasn't really allowed, but you know, the best course to take care of my home then was to get a job that was very, very close to home that didn't really pay that much. You know, so I had to take the money that I had and I had to keep it for very reactive things, you know, replace, you know, two rents. Someone was going to cut and run, and I would y'all watched it. It was amazing that people that would say things like Sean doesn't have any money, or when I was like, because I was in my car for about 4 days, and people would be like, well, look at it, he's paying rent in two different homes.
And you liked it that way.
Yeah, and I liked it that I did it for the sanity. I had to keep a lawyer on retainer. I don't have to do that, but I was still used to like, we need to have, you know, umpteen thousand for this. And Mandy's like, no, we got a house to furnish. We got cars to buy. we got stuff to do. We have family members to be around. We you know, we got movies to go to, all this stuff. Mandy has taught me kind of,
It's gonna be okay.
there's a happy medium between saving money and you know, just spending it on something that you want to do.
But like it's also the maturity in that, because I've never taken like the grocery money and gone and gotten my hair done with it. You guys remember when that happened? Like it was a long time ago. And I remember seeing that on the stream that she was like, she was going grocery shopping and she has highlights or whatever. And she goes, I used it for, and I was thinking, how disrespectful. I mean, I was a petulant child in my first marriage, but I didn't do that.
I mean, one of the things that, you know, we went grocery shopping yesterday, and, you know, some of the money from like AdSense and, you know, support that comes like in the latter part of the month, you know, I was going to take a picture and put it on there and say, thank you guys for your support. This is what, you know,
thank you.
And I was going to say, like, this is what we spent on groceries, because groceries cost a lot of money. You guys
They're
know.
a lot.
And I mean, this is just the two of us. We're not raising any kids here.
No.
We're raising a bunch of chickens.
I know y'all know, but it's.
But I decided that's just a little bit too catty, and to put, you know, like a picture of a full thing of groceries and say this is what we did. To thank y'all, I was like, no, that's kind of in bad taste. I mean, it's stuff like that.
Well, what's not in bad taste is, you know how when I give eggs to the neighbor, sometimes we get tamales.
Listen to this
Holy
story.
shit! I gave him 12 eggs in 2 little cartons. I usually just put it on their porch. I do it to the people across the street too. And then yesterday evening,
about 3:45, 4 o'clock in the afternoon,
like, someone knocking on our door.
I was like, it's begun. They sent someone to our door. I really thought that. I was like, someone is knocking on our door.
And so he gets a plate full of tamales, homemade tamales. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I have this burning mouth syndrome. Speaking of mouth, I don't have sores in it, but I'm diagnosed with burning mouth syndrome.
Burning mouth.
They think that it has something to do with a vitamin D deficiency, but that's neither here nor there. And so what I do is I'll put Ambisol in my mouth to numb it enough that I can eat something really spicy.
But it's yeah. I didn't. You know, it is a thing. Eggs and chickens are a thing. I have a little statue of a chicken that sits like on the corner of my desk in my workstation, and it is such a conversation piece. People are like, "Oh, that's so cute. Do you have chickens?" And it's like, "Well, as a matter of fact, I do."
And all of the breeders online are back ordered for
Yep.
months, meaning we can pop all kinds into our incubator and find good homes for them.
Yeah.
I was
I'm
like,
thinking about the 7.
yeah,
If we get one more, if we get the like whatever for tomorrow, I want to do 10
yeah.
and just put them in and fire them up, and then I'd be just like, you really can't sell them openly because there's laws because of they've got to be.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a good way to make relationships with people. It's like
Okay.
I've got when they hatch, I've got a half a dozen
Thank you, X-Table.
chicks that are ready to go who wants them.
Yeah.
And it's just part of, being a neighbor or whatever. Because the girl across the street said she wants to try it. Maybe it's something that we can.
I'd eat nutritional yeast every day. Okay. Take a spoonful of that. I'd love to see if that makes it better, my mouth. I know she was lying when she told me it was for birthday. She needed money. Played with my kindness. Hold on. She lies to get money with her hair. Oh, in your dreams. Did that for real happen?
Wow.
That happened? Yep. Like legit, like recently that happened? Yeah, Candy says she lives in a country club. She can't have chickens. Well, why not? Can't you just put a coop in your front?
Yeah.
You can't be like, there's a really cool house for sale on, and it is on a foundation. It's another like manufactured home. It's cute as it can be. It's got some like land with it.
I want to see the backyard.
It's coming soon, and it's on a foundation, so the VA will approve it. HOA, yeah, I guess so. Back during the pizza time. Oh, okay, during Pizzagate, that's when she got money from her.
Well, that's a long time ago, though. Yeah. There's a lot of that stuff that we've got friends that we have that were friends with her when I was with her, and the stories they would tell me now about
it's okay, AJ.
She would always ask for money. I didn't know that. I didn't know anything.
So AJ says MFW just said that either Sean got fired or he's getting fired. We didn't want to talk about it. No.
I wish they would.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, it's
no,
all,
you don't wish they would.
But Katie is saying that she's got a lot of. She's responsible for a lot.
Today she said she's got 2 AK-47s in her house. I was like, why do you need 2? And the other day she said she's got a gun in every room. Why do you need a gun in every room? You know what I mean? Like, who needs? If you have an AK-47, you wouldn't need 2 of them. No, one does.
Unless you were Rambo.
One does the job. Yeah, she's got this new. She was talking about kicking in people's doors, like, it's me if I come because I'm gonna kick in the damn door. Shut up.
I was saying the only door she's kicking in is if there's a bottle of vodka on the other side of it.
I'm like, you're gonna kick in the door where? Like, you're gonna have to. She's talking about going to Manhattan to see Hussy. That bitch ain't going to no Manhattan to see nobody. Oh my God.
And just for a second,
nobody's scared of you, Katie.
So to y'all in the chat here, the 100 of y'all that are here, I've tried it. And I know that Hussy is hangs out with Katie and tries to have some kind of a friendship with Katie, but is it just me or does he look like a complete clown with the stuff that he wears? That's my thing.
I haven't seen him on camera in a while, but yeah.
I'm like, I get it. Maybe because YouTube, you can be like in character, you can do whatever. Dude. But when this dude, when he sits there and talks, especially when he talks about going out on the town in New York and this, when you look at him, doesn't he look goofy? I
don't think he wears that when he goes out, does he?
I hope not.
I don't know.
Because he's on there, he looks like a complete.
Have a good night.
He looks like a clown. He looks like a clown, and maybe he wants to look like a clown. But it's really, really hard to take him seriously.
Yeah. Well, and people talk about this, and it's something that I work on about over talking or starting to talk when Sean's talking. But Katie doesn't let him get a word in edgewise.
Not at
And
all.
it's always like he wants to say something and she's like, I'm gonna whoop the shit. And he's like, yeah, okay, all right, just for a second. Today she's decided, because Foodie Beauty says she's gonna rehome her 20-year-old cat. Katie says she'll get the gas money together and she's gonna go to the border and pick up those cats, the border with Canada, from Indiana, to get Foodie Beauty's cats. And she wouldn't stop, and Hussey was like,
You're not going to do
no,
that.
he was just like, well, I think that,
But really, what he wants to say is, no, you're not.
She's one of those ones that
It's
once
not
she
believable.
she gets a few drinks in her and she's ready to fight everybody. She's ready to. She said last time she went out, she got cut off at 2 bars. How many to get cut off at a bar and near Indianapolis, Indiana? How do you get cut off?
But
you gotta be pretty freaking drunk. Hey, Gothic.
Hey, Gothic.
You have to be pretty freaking like.
Who really believes though that she was at 2 bars? Now you did say last night that that she was in a car while she was streaming or something.
I think she called her stepmother to take her to a bar or go see Playboy or something. I don't know what it is, but lately she's all talking about kicking everyone's butt. Everyone's going to jail. Everyone's lost their job.
I think because and there's a lot of YouTubers that do that. There's YouTubers that when they come on here, their echo chamber allows them to kind of exude power to the people that she used to be able to do that, and it was believable. She used to be able to come on and say this and say that, and people were kind of like, wow, Katie's kind of a pain in the ass. I don't want her to piss her off. She doesn't have that anymore. And even the people that do it, that's what they are. They're a pain in the ass. But
what's interesting is she's good and pissed off about people calling the Olive Garden, because that's where she's working. And first of all, you guys, she's probably not even working there. You never know with her. But second of all, she's like, quit calling, like trying to get me fired. But you're gonna call and try to get Sean fired? How does that work?
But yeah,
how does that work?
Right, even though literally it's she's not because she's not awake enough on the phone.
Well, that's the thing. She would have to drink while she's at work.
Right.
She would have to.
And she would have to drink while she's on the phone with anybody to listen, for her to have a steady voice and to seem like she's credible. Her own
job.
To seem like she's credible, she would have to be like kind of halfway lit, because that's the only way she's not shaking, her voice isn't tremoring. She has that, like, it's like that zone where, before she starts drinking, she looks like shit. She's shaking, she's trembling. Then she gets into that zone where she kind of levels out, where she seems kind of normal, because that is her normal, before she gets to the blackout, slurred, I'm going to kill the world, when she does that.
Yeah, she says she's got a whole list of people, but she has to be really drunk when she says she's going for Yaba. That's when she's really drunk. And then occasionally she'll say, I'm next. And then she'll be like, I'm coming for you next. And I'm like, what does coming for me mean? Like, you're going to try to get the channel taken down?
Or were you going to send people to our house?
Right. What does that even mean?
I mean, when she says Sean's job, I get that threat, because they're trying to mess with, like, our money. A lot of their money that for creators is here. If you mess with this, you're messing with their money. So I kind of get it. This is where his bread is. We're going to try to take that away from him. It's not really where my bread is, but it adds to our bread. But I get that threat. I kind of get that.
And the whole when she was saying that she's responsible for taking DC's channel down. Okay, I don't know who report. DC's channel got taken down because she had what was considered by YouTube to be an inappropriate sex scene on a screen on her stream. So that was convenient. You're not going to see that on ours. You're not going to see that on ours.
I think that Katie's just so far into images of grandeur right now that of kind of this past where she had a little bit.
And she doesn't even remember what she says when she's completely wasted, because then when she's halfway sober, she's saying something completely different that you're just kind of like. And also when she says she's sober, you guys have to keep in mind, She's sober to the extent of she's drinking just enough to get by.
Just to stay
Just to
into
keep-
that zone
just to
I was
keep the
talking, keep it level.
shakes.
She's not completely sober because
Anytime
her
she-
body can't take it. Not
Anytime
physically.
she gets in that car, I guarantee you she blows legally drunk. She may not think that, but she will.
She can't, because she's not going to be able to function
Right.
as a normal person. Physically, she's dependent as well as psychologically. She's got to drink. She's got to drink.
That's the reality, and that's what everyone in the community that's in recovery, Randy, me, Sean, because he knows, that's why everyone's kind of like, we try not to mess with you or to entertain you because you're dying from your disease. And an alcoholic death is horrible. Any of you, there's people whose parents and relatives, they've watched an alcoholic death. It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. And so, yeah, I guarantee she needs to be careful, because anytime she's in the behind the wheel, she's a danger to the people around her, and she's a danger for getting popped again.
I'm
with
very
a DUI.
I'm pretty certain. Most, like when she left court, this and that.
But she's
they
not
probably told her.
functioning.
No, she's not.
Not very
functioning at all.
well anymore.
19 times out of 20, she's sitting in a chair in her garage, talking to whoever. She loses a channel, she goes now and gets supporters that have monetized channels and takes their channels. That's
and then loses it.
That's the futility of her life right now. Turn on my camera and try to get a couple hundred people to talk to, and I'll try to act like, and then she'll try to act like she's about something other than being drunk.
You're exactly right. Stitching says, we are not the people to help her, only one person, and that's herself. Sit in my garage. I used to be a garage drinker. Look, I'm not, usually it was a group of people, but I've been a garage drinker before.
You weren't there by yourself.
I've never sat there by myself and did it. But if I hadn't gotten sober, I would have done whatever I don't think I would have been didn't need the attention like she does. She needs a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I was happy just to sit and drink and watch TV
But I mean, like when you roll out of bed and
she's not sleeping. She's passing out.
right, she's passing
She's
out.
not getting any quality sleep.
Mentally and psychologically exhausted. But
right.
Some people, Katie being one of them, it's a perfect example. When she rolls out of bed, she's already got this on her mind. You get out of bed, I get out of bed. We're not looking at social media yet. It's. I might see some notifications, but I literally don't have time. It's get ready, go to work. You get up, you do what you do. You don't need the camera. I mean, we set aside time for the camera at night, to go live and talk. But she doesn't have anything else to do.
No. Let me tell you, I don't even see Doug over there anymore. Let me tell you about, okay, so when you're drinking and you're in the enlisted way of life, maybe for officers too, I don't know.
I was enlisted for a while.
Chances are one of your friends has a pool table in their garage. There's usually one out of your group that has the pool table. We had one that had a pool table and a foosball table in the garage.
I know the ones that... I remember the ones that...
oh my gosh, Karen.
Remember the ones that... had to just move couches into their garage.
Oh, hell yeah.
Couches,
TVs, big screen TVs.
Big screen TVs, a fridge.
This one guy opened his garage one time. I was going to pin what Karen said, and I can't because it's like...
Watch this.
It's
I got
glitchy.
this. I got this.
And he opened it up. He had an entire garage brewery. He was literally a brewery in his garage, different flavor beers he was testing. But it was funny when the garage door opened and he was like, yeah, I can show you, what I have or whatever. And there's just, it was a brewery. He had a full-fledged brewery.
That's cool.
And he was like, this one's an orange. I've added this one. This one's my great beer. And everybody was like, where have you been? Okay. And then I was like, you're in for a
where
surprise
have you been all my life? Huh?
Because people are going to be at your garage.
Yep.
They're not just casual tasters.
You really think that they like you, but they just
want
to.
Yeah, it was crazy. But there's always one that has that.
Speaking of the
Party House, there you go,
Kay. DC and their channel, in her channel, the DC was on our channel, and I did, kind of go in today. So I probably have literally After my lunch hour, it's an hour, but I go get something to eat. I pay some bills. Talk to her. I have about 20 minutes, and I went into the comments, and when you look at the comments, you can tell the people that you look at the comment, then you look at the profile, and it was like created a month ago, and it only has 4 total comments, and there are 4 comments in the vlog. But I engaged one of them.
Did you?
Yeah, and it was like they were like, "Oh, it was a terrible interview, this and that, and blah 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 blah." So I went in there under ATX Tomahawk, and it was like 5,000 people watched it. I mean, that really happened, and they come back, but it was terrible. It doesn't matter, and I was like, no, this is drama. It does matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good the interviewer is. It's about the shit show and that they watched it. And my point was that if ATX Tomahawk wanted to do drama, we can get those views. We just don't. And he went on and on saying, and so finally I just said, okay, bro, do it, get the views, go. And
Was it someone we know?
No, I was a troll. It was some troll, and that's my whole point. I was like,
ooh, yuck.
I was like, don't feed the trolls. But I gave a troll about 10 minutes of my time.
I know, because it so doesn't.
They
bother
were there
you.
waiting. As soon
it
as
doesn't bother you, and I think that's awesome.
As soon as I left the comment, a minute later there was another comment. They're sitting there watching. They're watching for you to.
Oh my God.
Anyway. If y'all had seen that in the comments, I'm sorry. I'll take them down. I was having fun with the trolls while I was eating my chicken wings.
While you were eating your chicken wings.
Yeah.
Where'd you get chicken wings?
Food line across the street. They were cleaning the roller grill.
They've been cleaning that a lot.
Yeah.
They must be getting inspected or whatever.
I go in, I drive, because that's only a couple blocks away.
AJ,
I go into Circle K, and there's no roller grill, damn it. I eat roller grill like one thing. There's a couple of things that happen every day. The sun comes up, the sun goes down. Sean gets roller grill.
I'm not trying to. The other. So let's see. Yeah, the thumbnail of the stream. I always try to pick something random because you have to pick one to schedule it. That tree, that little pathetic tree, that was my parents' tree.
That's in Texas, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know I meant to ask her if it now that it's warmed up and melted off, I wonder if the tree made it. But that was like her tree. That's my parents' poor little tree. They've tried to keep it alive, and it's.
Is anybody here in the Midwest, like North Texas, Oklahoma? They got sheathed with ice, man.
Did they?
Yeah, it was all the way kind of in.
We had a fairly mild winter.
The
everything considered.
It was rained a lot this winter, though.
Yeah,
it
did rain a lot. Even
today was a nice day. It's supposed to be in the 60s the rest of the week.
Oh, that's cool. That's very, very cool. I wanted to say that my mother passed away due to drink Bacardi Bliss. It was slow and painful. Oh, absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely. It's a horrible, horrible way to go. Especially for the people that have to watch it. And that's why I always say, like, you have a choice. You can go to the bitter end. You don't have to get sober. You don't have to do it. You have a choice. People don't realize that, but you have a choice. Fort Worth, Austin was crazy, but Houston was good. Oh, wow. I saw week in Fort Worth.
The thumbnail was a suburb of Austin where that tree was.
Yeah, I have a relative that was stuck in Houston for business, and his wife was at home, and they've got like a pool and stuff. And she did a little video, and there was just tree limbs down everywhere. Some of them were on her house, but it looks like it bent. And then, so when it snapped, it was already rusting against the house. I hope that saves it from doing too much damage. But it said, yeah, Austin still has power outages. Isn't that crazy? Rumble is great, like old school uncensored YouTube. Okay.
All right.
That's
we've got a few friends that are going over there. We'll go check it out.
Yeah. And then we can yeah. So it is Monday, and we had a good time. But I'm sure I want to watch Emergency. We haven't watched it lately.
I know.
And because basketball's been on, and I'm okay with that. That's totally fine. But every once in a while, we watch Emergency. I like watching basketball with him because his comments are funny.
The thing is that it's now February.
Squad 51, yeah.
Yup, Squad 51, yup. Rampart. We were going to give him 50 cc's of D5W, whatever that is. What you guys
She
do?
was live like 30 minutes. Hold on.
It so basketball, they're coming down to the stretch run. March Madness is coming up next month. So I watch a lot of basketball. I fancy myself as um that I know when I start picking the brackets for March Madness, I do pretty good. I'm not that good though. But I like to watch basketball.
Thank you. It was good to see y'all too. It says that, oh yeah, if you on Rumble, if you download the app, that's the easiest way to do it. And it has a thing where you can like sign in. You know how most things like you can sign in with your Google and stuff like that, and then it kind of does some of the work for you when you register if you don't have it. But her DC's name, I don't have the link right now, but if you look up DC Media Girl, one word, that's her Rumble.
Remember, I thought she was live.
I don't know. Yeah, she was live early. I don't know.
When we went live,
I'm not very good at Rumble. I'm learning it, but we'll see.
Right, Kay? Go Mavericks. What do you think of Kyrie Irving potentially going to be playing with Luka? I got to remember that Kay said that because I like the Mavericks.
He does like the Mavericks.
But the Mavericks are the NBA, but that's okay. Yeah, they're my team. I like Luka. And that was, like Mandi said, I was not very attentive for a little while after I got the news that Kyrie was traded to Dallas. I had to try to. Now, actually, they're saying that the trade is not complete and that Brooklyn is trying to bring another team in, a third team. It's like, greedy bastards, just trade him like you said you're gonna.
They're not winning right now.
Well, they're
not winning like really right now. The game's going on and they're not winning.
They're 500. It's hard to win night after night in the NBA, but the Mavericks have Luka Doncic, which I think he's the best player in the league right now. Christian Wood is always hurt, but they needed to get Luka another superstar, and Kyrie is that superstar. So, and they're pushing the trade deadline is in like 4 days.
So
that's what they're trying to do.
One of their last names is Fournier, Fournier. Fournier. That's the last name of one of the basketball players.
Yeah. So what was
Fournier Gangrene? If you look up on Google, thank you, Karen had the link.
I'm gonna get
if
they're playing the Jazz right now.
If you okay, so Fournier Gangrene, you do your Google research yourself. It's a bacterial thing, and it's on dudes. I think just mainly dudes down there. And Harvey Weinstein had it. Okay, so it's gangrene. It's a bacteria that grows there. And look, when you look at the images, don't hold me responsible. But it's Fournier gangrene, and that's what that basketball player was. Oh, thank you, Kay. Thank you for the sticker.
Thank you, Kay. Look, I got my Luka Doncic jerseys.
Are they real, Sean?
Well, they're not authentic, but this is a Slovenia jersey, his international jersey. And then
oh shoot.
My other one for his international pro team that he played for.
Which one is that for Doncic?
For Luka.
Okay. I'm typing it in there. You guys don't hold me responsible when you look it up, okay? The first couple images are absolutely off the chain. But Harvey Weinstein has it. And I guess his assistants and stuff would have to go pick up the medication to treat it. So not only was this creep assaulting people, he had gangrene of the nether region. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So if my last name was Fournier, I would change it.
You would change it?
Oh my God, yes. But not everybody knows what that is. I don't even remember how I found it. I think because I was interested in trench foot during, like, I was researching it. Yeah, Harvey is terrible. I can't think of a better thing for him to have going on down there than that. Karma is a thing. And he definitely, they probably don't even give him the right kind of medication in prison. So you'll have to, like, when you look up those images, that might be him. I didn't know that he had it until I looked it up yesterday when I saw that guy's last name.
All I know, we were watching the Knicks. Who were they playing last night? It was the Knicks and Anyway, Fournier plays for the Knicks, I believe. And so as I'm watching the game, you know, Mandy's like, "Oh my
I was
God,
like,
is that really
"Ooh."
his name?"
And I knew it was like, you know, doctors when they discover an illness and they research it and they get to pick the name. And it usually because they name it after themselves or maybe the first patient that they whatever it is. So I'm going to assume that somebody with the last name Fournier discovered this illness and said, I'm gonna call it Fournier gangrene. And I'm like,
It was the Knicks and the Sixers and the 76ers. So
even if you just dropped the R off the end or something, you know what I mean? Like, it's bad. It's bad. And once you see those, ugh.
yeah,
And I
he's
don't
running
even-
up and down the court, and Mandy's like, "There he is! Look at his jersey."
I don't think that it's even like treatable. Like, and I think some of those pictures, Sean, they were still alive dealing with that.
I know it was pretty gross.
It was anyway.
It was pretty gross.
I know you guys. It's kind of like when someone tells you to look up blue waffle. You're like, oh, I wish I hadn't have looked that up.
A rusty trombone or something like that.
What's that?
Hey, look it up.
Oh no!
Look it up.
Right? Okay, Jocelyn.
Google. Yes, that's the person's last name.
Oh.
Yes.
So I would name it like if I discovered it and I, you know, cultured the bacteria and I'm like, okay, this is a rotting bacteria that's localized at that level at
Like
that
if
area.
it was called curly, or we'd be like
I would name it. I would name it like
rotting
something. Like
flesh.
right.
Disease.
I would go look up a Latin word.
Right.
And did some variation of that.
So Jocelyn, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that you're a Celtics fan, right? Most people in that
I don't know
area.
if she likes basketball.
She just said that, Googled it, and yes, that's that person's last name. Most people up there are pro sports fans, though.
No, she's talking about the doctor that invented it.
Oh.
Like, that's the doctor's last name of the one who invented it.
Yeah, she said Jason Tatum is my baby daddy. He plays for the Celtics. Yeah, right on. I knew. I mean, and normally something like that. They're big fans.
Really?
Up there.
It's like the Eagles fans. They're crazy, right?
Eagles fans are crazy.
They like shut down downtown and stuff. When
all the fans that live up in the Northeast, New
hamburger
York
meat,
fans,
that's
New
a good
York
one.
fans, Boston fans, you know, Philly fans, they're all pretty crazy.
yeah,
Buffalo fans are crazy.
that's probably
So-
very, very true. But we are gonna run.
Hasty said I would call it hamburger meat.
That's about. I don't even remember how what that came up. Like one time when I found it. Oh, because like I said, I was looking up trench foot. And then it came up in one of the pictures, and I was like, that's bad.
What was the
That's
one that
real
I
bad.
looked up? Scabies. Look up scabies.
Yeah, there's a couple of
Scabies
them.
are pretty bad.
And then you know those top two images. You know those top two images are. I mean, someone. It was someone.
That guy's like, well, my image of me is shown like 5 million times a day. It's like, yeah, because you have
Oh, cool.
Fournier's disease or something
Hankster
like that.
says, yeah, right. So the what was I gonna say? And the people in those pictures. The other thing is like when they do like a news report and they're like 85% of the obese population, and then they show someone walking, like they show like their butt or their belly or something walking down the street when they do a segment on some sort of like obesity epidemic, and then you're like, someone's gonna look at that and go, that was my ass today in the town center. I was down. That is my ass on the obesity segment. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
I do. AJ,
That's
I didn't mean to delete that. I was trying to. I had my thumb wasn't working right. I was grossed out.
That's why we let the. I used to be obese. Good night. Listen to that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And so they'll go, belly fat is all da-da-da-da-da, and then they show like someone from here down, like a dude eating an ice cream cone with his belly, and someone's gonna look and be like, I wore that shirt. That's me. That's me.
Someone's on the phone going, Dad, I saw you. It's like, no.
Anyways, you guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the people that crept in our DMs today. In the support. Thank you for that. Y'all know why.
It's all good.
It's all good. You guys see it. You guys
Yeah.
see it. Doors out.
Come up with some ingenious things to
Yes.
Google so that we
Yes.
can. And those of you who had to see it, I'm sorry.
Fournier's disease.
Use your Gold Bond spray.
Look up scabies. We'll talk about scabies tomorrow night
Gross.
and what.
Y'all have a
Bye,
good
y'all.
night.
Good
Bye.
night.
Thank you. It's like, it's always delayed.